We're live, very impromptu live, but we have an announcement to make. So we're just going to jump right in here. It's kind of a budget announcement. What you think, sister? Maybe a little bit.
Sure.
Sure. Okay. Yes. So it has something to do with the budget. I should have put budget announcement because people would have came over here for the budget announcement. Anyway, we are live, and so we wanted to talk to you about a couple of things that have kind of been going on over here. We've chatted about it a little bit, but not a lot. So over the, those of you who have been following us for a very long time understand and know that we're on a financial journey over here. We do not just do randomness. That's untrue because sometimes, hey ma'am, how are you? Sometimes I'll see something on Amazon and I'll be real random. I need to get my life together. There's a spirit of Amazon that has jumped on me and I don't think the Lord is pleased. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? So anyway, for those of you who have been following the financial journey, right? You know that back in 2001, 2001, I started having some issues with my vehicle. I had a 2008 Toyota, was it a Camry?
Probably.
Toyota Camry, and I had started having some issues with my vehicle. Oh, everything is very good. Well, you decide. You get to decide, Miss Carla. And so through a series of events, I needed to purchase a car. Thank you. Yes, do please hit the like button, hit the share, do all the things because it helps us get out into the algorithm. So I had really needed to buy a car. I had gotten myself totally out of debt with the help of the Lord and all the things that He's allowed us to do over here on our channel. And so it just worked out to where I didn't have any debt, but I was getting ready to incur a large amount of debt. Hey, y'all, good to see everybody. Hey, from Trinidad and Tobago. I'm so glad you're here. And so what I was trying to do was I was really not wanting to get a car payment. But because of the way that the finance were working and we were just in, we were in lockdown and all the things that were happening from the pandemic, what I needed to do was I actually did need to take out a loan to purchase a car. We just could not go any further with that vehicle. Here I am, a single mom. Hey y'all, single mom with my kids. It was just the two little youngest ones I say little, they are not little. It was the two youngest ones at the time. And I knew for us to be safe, for us to be in a situation where we would be safe on the road, I just had to bite the bullet and do something different. Well, we all know that we got those supplements and stimulations and all the things that were happening from the government because of our lockdown. So the Lord just put it into my mind, okay, Shakima, you're going to get this loan from the credit union, but you're going to take all that money that you're getting, plus some other monies that was still coming in because I was getting, fortunately, I was getting tax returns back then. And you're going to take all that money, you're going to chunk away at this brand new car. Now, it was brand new to me. It was not a brand new car. So the Lord allowed us to get my car, which we named Blessing. It was 2013 Toyota Camry for $13,700. And we were able to pay off $13,700 in 63 days. So the Lord allowed us to pay that off in 63 days. So with all of that being said, my children have watched a journey. They have seen me go through debt. They have seen me go through issues, struggles, all of that. And God says, not so for this generation. So when Dad started paying child support, I made it up in my mind. Hello to everybody. I'm so glad you're here. I made it up in my mind that I was going to do what I needed to do for the children, but I was also going to take a little bit and put to the side for them. Now, because sister was only on child support for a small amount of time because she aged out, I was only able to save, I would say 3,000-4,000. It wasn't a ton.
Yeah.
It wasn't a ton for sister. I knew, hey y'all, good to see you. I knew that I was going to be a little bit lacking for her, but I would do better for Jackson. However, with all of that being said, sister's been working full time since she was 16 and a half years old. So because she works, what I do is I oversee her money. She manages it, but I oversee it because she lives in my home. So because she lives in my home, everybody in this house pays tithe. We tithe 10% off of every dollar that comes in this house. I don't care what it is. If it comes here, if the Lord tell you to bless me and you give me $1, Jesus getting a dime, and then another ministry is getting a nickel, and we're going to live our best life on the 85 cents that's left. And God stretches it every single time. So I've always made my children, I've always taught them tithing, but thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I was just at a virtual meeting. And so I thought I might want to at least get halfway cleaned up, even though we had our cameras off the whole time. I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. This was my first time. So I just thought I would get dressed. So I've always required them to do the 10% for tithes. And then 40 to 50% went into savings. She was able to do with whatever she wanted with whatever was left. And pretty much she has been on a savings journey for a while. She might spend a little here and there. She saves for her Christmas money. Since she started working and turned 18, she doesn't ask me for money anymore. She just does it herself. So that's what we have been on for her. So fast forward, sister she took driver's ed, 16? 17 because of the pandemic. She drove, but she hasn't been the, what I want to say, the most, not necessarily that. She's cautious in her driving. She's not been like, I need to drive. So that's not been a thing for us. She has been fine driving with me, riding with me. But we did finally get her license her permit. Sorry, Lord have mercy. Her permit in 2021, 22?
This year.
23?
February.
We got it this year in 23. Thank you so much. I appreciate. But she has not felt comfortable. That's what I was trying to find. She hasn't felt comfortable driving on her own. I want to get her in the frame a little bit. She hasn't felt comfortable driving on her own. And so what she does is drives with me. But because my schedule is so very busy, we have not been in a situation where we get a ton of hours in. She has to get 60 hours in. Well, pretty much that was probably before she turned 18. But we're going to do 60 hours of driving. Now, work is not far, so that doesn't take us long. We do have a big trip coming up at the end of the month that'll give her a lot of driving time. And it's a straight road, so I'm not concerned. But we had an opportunity come up last weekend. And so I'm going to let Sister jump in here and chat with you a little bit about what took place last weekend. Now, I was leaving to go on a business work trip. Hey, y'all. Very good. Thank you for being here. I was leaving to go on a business work trip, and I got a text message from a friend of mine. So you want to jump in, sister?
Well, tell them about the text first.
Okay. So the text message is from a friend of mine. Every Saturday we host Saturday suppers. And so my friend comes in, and she knows quite a lot of people. She probably knows more people than I do. She's an elderly lady, or much older than I am. So she knows older people. Well, I'm on my way to Asheville, North Carolina, up in the mountains. I live at the beach. I'm going to the mountains, 6-hour drive. And she texts me. She said, hey, Shakima, a friend of mine just texted me that he's trying to sell his mother-in-law's car. And he didn't put it on Facebook Marketplace. Let me know if you're interested. I know these people. It's a really good deal. And I just wanted you to be aware. And something almost was like, you know what? No, we're good. But we have been looking for cars. We've been looking for the past little while. I've been looking. Then she started to look. And cars are like, for used cars, 15, 18, 24, 36, 48. And I'm like, wow, that is a lot for a used car. So I had already decided if anybody was going to get a payment, it was going to be me. Here I am, zero debt. But if anybody was going to get a payment, it was going to be me. I was going to give her my car for a fee. I was going to take that money, reinvest it into a new car that I was going to take the payments on, because I was not going to let my 19-year-old have a car payment. That's just not what we were going to do. But when I tell you that the Lord swooped in, God swooped in Now I know people think I be, just playing over here with God, but I don't play with the Lord. You do what you want to do. I'm not playing with the Lord. And here God really set us up, because the lowest car we could find, hey ma'am, the lowest car that we could find at the place where I was looking, that I'm familiar with, where Mr. Willie worked, was 15,000. And I was like, that's not terrible. Okay, the miles were not terrible. It was a Toyota foreign car. But then they had some non-foreign cars, and I ain't with it. I'm a Toyota or a Honda kind of girl because I know that workmanship, that brand. But here I am on my way to Asheville, 6 hours away from here, and I get this text message. You want to jump in now? Or you want me to still keep going?
Tell me is that what the text message said?
Yes.
Oh. Okay.
Well, the text message was that her friend had a vehicle. His mother-in-law had moved to transitional living. She had a vehicle. They were trying to sell it to take the financials and help her at transitional living, right? Because that is expensive. And so I reached out to the gentleman. She's like, well, you need to message him. I said, well, I don't have his contact information. If he's on Facebook, they're not going to let me contact him because we are not friends. So she said, hey, Veronica, she said, let me message him and I'll tell him to call you. So again, I live at the beach. I'm on my way to the mountain, 6 hours away. And the gentleman calls me. So I can't get messages from him because iPhones don't act right. So I call him back and I said, listen, I said, my friend Kathy just sent me this message with the picture that you sent. I said, I have a 19-year-old daughter. I'm interested in this vehicle. However, I'm going to be out of town for the next 3 days. I said, if you're willing to wait until I get back on Wednesday, I said, I'm back Tuesday evening, but it was going to be late. I said, we could come over Wednesday after work and take a look at it. I'm not making any promises. Can't tell you anything. I just don't know. I'm looking at the picture, looks nice, but listen, would you give me until Wednesday? He said, listen, you're the first person that has called or has mentioned anything. He said, I'm just going to hold it for you. I'll give you first choice to look. He said, I won't tell everybody else. Hey, I'm letting her look first because she responded first. Now you want to jump in?
Sure.
Okay, very good.
So we went, and this was last Wednesday. So we went to go look at the car, and I already saw from the picture, and it's a really lovely car. Can I say?
Sure, yeah.
So I was very surprised when we pulled up, and the car looked exactly like her car.
We have twin cars. We like,
they're
wait a minute,
literally almost identical.
What?
Especially from the front, you can really see how exactly the same they look.
Same color, same everything.
Yeah, same everything. So we took a look at it. It looks good. They said the battery was good, right?
Yeah, the battery was good. They let us do a test drive, so we could take a test drive. So we know the area. So sister and I got in, and I'll say this, right? We talk all the time about the relationship between the exes, right? So my ex, we had talked previously. I called him when I was leaving to go out of town to say, hey, listen, this is what we're doing, because you have to keep that open communication. Alana is 19. She's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants. However, because I do a lot of management here, I needed to communicate that with him. That's her dad. He is involved with her, and he was going to be able to have a conversation piece. So I called him, and he said, well, if you don't mind, will you FaceTime me in when you go see the vehicle? So I said, sure, no problem. We went over, and then we got him on FaceTime. So the gentleman brings the keys out. We get in the car. We take off to go ride around and do all the things we need to do. Her dad is on the phone at the same time. And so he's asking questions. I'm answering questions. She's answering questions. And again, I'm doing a test drive because she only has her permit and this is not my vehicle. So I wanted to make sure that we were safe on the road. They were asking 11.5 for the car. This is the lowest we have seen. Very good miles for a Toyota. Very good miles for a Toyota. I paid 13.7 for my Toyota. It's a 2012 Toyota Camry. They are the same color. The only difference is I have rain guards on mine and she has a black stripe on the side of hers. So we drove it around. We talked to Dad. We got back and he began to chat with the gentleman. He was asking about the battery and different other things. So the gentleman says, well, let me go and talk to my brother-in-law because he's the one really handling this with my mother-in-law, but he's not able to get to us right now. So the car was here. So he goes outside. He's out there for a while. We're inside talking to the wife. And my friend came over who sent me the message. She actually came over. She said, well, Shakima, if you're not interested, I know somebody else who's interested. So I was like, okay, well, we're interested. We're interested. We still trying to work some stuff out. So the gentleman comes back in the house. My ex is still on the phone with Alana. And he's chatting with him. He said, listen, here's what we're going to do. He said, I think that the battery is good. He said it passed inspection. She got her sticker and all of that. However, the tires on the front look a little thin. So in order for her to be safe, what we're going to do is we're going to take $500 off so that you can for sure get the tires and get the battery if you feel like that needs to be replaced. Well, when we first got there, the daughter said, I just want to be honest with you. She said, my mother drove this car from home to church and back. Her husband passed away, I think, several years ago, and she's been on her own since then. She's an elderly lady. And of course, she was like only wanting to go so far to be safe herself. Right. So we thought, okay, 11,000. That was very good. Sister saved up her money. Now I saved up about 3,000 to 4,000. She saved up the remaining of the money. She had in her account $11,300. We're just telling the numbers. It's fine. We share all the things. $11,300. Now she's $200 short to get the vehicle. But the gentleman comes back and he says, hey, we're going to go ahead and take off $500. So now she's $300 over the price that she needs to pay. So she's not going to be short anything. And I'm almost sure that we can get 4 new tires plus a battery for the $500 that we saved in the purchase price. Well, then Dad chimes in, right? Whoever's counting, if Rachel's up here, Rachel's real good with them numbers. Dad chimes in and he says, well, I'm going to send you. He said, I just got to figure out how I can get the money to you. He said, well, hey, can you take it to Western Union? I said, sure. He said, I'm going to put the money in her name. I'll send her the confirmation, all the things. So we go to Western Union the next day, and Dad has sent her $2,300. Now the car is $11,000. Dad has sent $2,300. Now somebody need to be doing these numbers up in here because I'm trying to do something else. So 11. Oh shoot.
That's 10.
Subtract 2,300. Right. So that's only going to give her $8,700 that she has to come out of her money that she's been saving. Now, I've been doing the $20 challenge, right? I've been doing the $20 challenge. I didn't finish it. $1,200 is what I would have saved. So I actually end up having $920. So I gave her the $920. So that actually put her to $7,780 that she actually had to pay out of the $11,300 that she had in her savings account. That's just her savings account. On top of that, we went the next day. Was it the next day? Mm-hmm. We went the next day to get the title, right? So we actually went to the nursing home, to the transition home where the mom was. And we met her and sat down with her and we did the title transfer. Now, this is sister's car. It's not mom's car. This is in her name only. The only issue that we had was the insurance because sister does not have her license, because all of my children have been responsible for getting their own insurance. I don't play home. I don't play no games, with the exception of Trandon. Because Trandon was in the military, and I needed to handle his business if he ever got deployed. I think Trandon was on mine for just a little while, just a tiny bit, because I didn't want no problems with his insurance if he got deployed somewhere and I needed to do business for him. But everybody gets their own insurance. So we get to the title place and it was what, 273,
No, 250 something.
250 something plus $7. So that was taken care of to title the transfer. It was clean transfer, no problems, no wrecks, no leaks, no floods, no anything, no liens. The title was clear. And so in order to put sister on my insurance, even though she's an inexperienced driver, which you would think that would raise my insurance rates terribly, it was 464 5 $465 for 6 months, which sister could then transfer money to her checking account and pay that portion using her checking account because she had saved up that much money. And then dad and I chimed in some, and then she just had that left over from the total purchase of the vehicle. Chime in. Did you want to chime in?
That was pretty much everything.
You think so? So how you feeling about?
Okay, I guess we could talk about.
Yeah, let's talk about the process saving. How you feel?
The process with saving, for the longest time, I knew I was saving for a car. That was gonna be like the next step, with my saving my money, and I knew it was hard to budget in the beginning. Once I first got a job, I was 16, and Mom was trying to help me with the budgeting process, and it took me a while, and I didn't really get the hang of it until like the next year. But ever since then, I had figured out, what was important, what needed to be prioritized first. Of course, God is always first, and I always, I give more because I know He's going to multiply it in return.
Oh, Jesus.
And and I do like to spend money, only because giving gifts is, it's just something that makes me happy. So I love spending money for other people. You can
gift me.
I do gift you, Mother.
Very good.
And lately, especially lately, since I have gotten another job and I'm getting paid a little bit more, I've been putting a little bit more into my savings lately. And I'll be honest, I didn't think I would have gotten a car this fast. And I for sure didn't think I was going to get a car before I got my license. It is a kind of a backwards thing, but to be honest, I really feel like this was the best decision. It really just, it feels amazing to have. Now I do have a lot of things. She did buy some things and I bought some things, but I feel like this, I told her whenever I bought the car, I know there are those kinds of things, mostly in movies, but it happens in real life. The dad or the mom or the grandparent, they'll buy the 16-year-old car, and she's so thankful, or he's so thankful, and they're like, oh my goodness, thank you, it's so amazing, I got a car, all that stuff. One, I already knew the reality that Mom wasn't gonna buy a car, and I was okay with that. And so, for some reason, once they had the money and like I had the keys, I was just like, what is this feeling? And it was really like the feeling of accomplishment for me saving up my own money to buy my own car. It just, I feel like it means so much more than a gift, which I know a gift, like that's a blessing and that's still great, and I'm not downplaying that, but I feel like it just feels so much more whenever it's your hard work, it's your prayers, it's your speaking into it, because I had been speaking about getting a really good car that was going to do what I needed to do to sustain me and for my purpose that I need to use it. And so once I had the keys, actually once we did all the title transfer and everything, Mom was like, that's it, like it's your car, it's in your name, and that's it. And I think it needed to sink in for a little bit, but it feels amazing. Yeah, it feels good. It's nice to know, you have your keys. You can just do a little jingle jingle, and pull the car keys are jingling together.
Who drove you to work this morning?
I actually took my car for the first time, and I drove myself to work. It was my first time driving my car.
I was in the car too.
She was in the car.
She drove, but
I drove.
Yeah.
Um.
So she won't be paying me gas anymore.
Yes,
what she paid was the last gas, because she will drive her car to work in the morning. She goes very early, and I come back home to make sure that we get Jackson on the bus, and then I leave from that. So she will be able to put gas in her car. She's like, I'm not putting anything in my car until I get it cleaned, and she's going to take it over to get it washed and cleaned and all the things. She put her own license plate on. We took the other license plate, turned it back in.
Don't let them kids fool you, okay? It took like 2 seconds to put that thing on.
Yeah, she's doing all the things. So I think for me, this was a different experience, because Trandon did have a car payment. Shamika does have a car payment, but that was their choices to make. Sister does not, because I had the sense, right, to help her think ahead, because I had already done the things. And I was like, and even if I would have had to take the car payment, because I wouldn't have wanted that for her, she would have still seen me try to gazelle intense that thing and pay it as hard as I could, right? So that was the thing. I was just going to make sure that sister had every advantage. And then what I told my ex-husband was, I said, listen, now it's time to start saving for Jackson. For sure, Jackson will have way more than I ever saved for sister, because he's just on it longer. He's on child support longer. But even with that, Dad came through in addition to child support, because I did not, she didn't have all that money that was there. He came through. He was like, okay, I'm going to give her. And then he even said, I'm going to give her a little bit more than what I had told her. So he sent that right through the Western Union, and we didn't have no problems with it coming through. And I think that's one of the things that is so key about those relationships. You have to try to, as best you can, mend those relationships where you can, because it doesn't have to be World War III between you and your ex. It didn't work, but we still have kids, and there are things that our kids need to accomplish. There are things and goals that they have that we need to talk about. He lives in a totally different state. I'm almost sure that if he lived here, he would have taken her on his insurance, because that's just the individual he is after his kids. He may not care nothing about me, but he cares for his children. I'll never take that from him. But because she's here, right, it was just better for me to do it. And the lady, when I was calling for the insurance, she almost thought we were trying to do something backwards. And I said, no, that's not what we're doing. I said, she's already permitted driver under me, but I just need to get this other vehicle on the policy. And she was like, oh, is it Alana? I said, yes, ma'am, it is. And she was like, oh, we added it. No problem. You can go ahead and tell them, give me 5 minutes and they can change the title. No problem. So it just worked out to the point where it was God, because the lowest thing we found was 15 and some change. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, even at that price, now I got to go up in here and try to negotiate with Mr. Willie. Mr. Willie, he know I'm good for it, but to go from 11.5 really to out of her pocket 7,700, that is the Lord. That's not just hundreds of dollars, that's thousands. And God allowed me to be able to save. So I only gave her 920, 1,200 was my goal. So I'm still going to give her the rest of the money. What do I owe you? 280. So I'm still going to give her the extra $280 that I said to make up my 1,200. But she's going to have to wait, because I was saving through the year. So this came about a little bit sooner. But she's paid up her insurance for the 6 months. We went ahead and took care of that. I told the lady, don't worry. It wasn't due till November 1st. But I said, nope, we're going to go ahead and just pay it up. It's done. We don't have it again until February. And I think we're going to let her stay one more 6 months to get that driving under her belt good. and then she'll get her own policy, which would be very good for her. So, we know that a lot of y'all have been watching the journey, and we really just wanted to share kind of where we are with things, because, sometimes you can take heart from what somebody else is doing. Sometimes you can just kind of figure out how it works out for her brain, because she fought me against against all things with the budget. They all fought the budget for at least a year. And then now sister takes nothing for her budget. She all up in the budget. She like, look, let me work my numbers, mom. She'll tell me real quick, that's not in the budget this week. I'm gonna get it, but it'll be next paycheck. She has her stuff together. So my biggest prayer, and if you would agree with me, is that she would be very careful on the road, right? Because it's crazy people. We were driving today. I was actually driving, and this guy just pulled right out. And she was like, oh God, what's happening? I said, you got to watch for you, and you got to watch for other people. You just don't ever know, what's happening out here. So we're very thankful. If nothing else, we've tried to share on this channel, God is good. He helps us. He helps us navigate. He does all the things. Sister is now the proud owner of her own vehicle, 2012 Toyota Camry. I will post a picture on the community tab after this live. Now, will you jump over there, sister, and grab one of those bags for us? Because we're celebrating. I actually was able to go back to Walmart. Over there on the floor. I went back to Walmart, and I found 2 more of the travel bags. And so I wanted to have a celebratory giveaway. Thank y'all so much. Please do like the video, like, share all the things, especially if you know single parents who are trying their best. Y'all, if anybody is a poster child for this is God can do it, that's what we're doing over here, right? So I want other moms, parents, whatever, to know they can do it as well. I didn't corner the market on no, ma'am, we didn't go to Mr. Willie this time. The Lord sent us a elderly lady who was widowed, and she was moving into a transition home. And she said, when we were sitting with her, she said, the car's just been sitting out there for 2 weeks. She said, I feel so bad. She said, nobody's driving it. She said, and it needs to be driven. And so when we went over there, this is how God works. Let me tell you, I'm telling y'all for sure, it was the Lord. You don't have to believe me, but it was the Lord. So when we went, the gentleman's name is Mike. When we went to Mike's to get the keys to do the test drive, he kept saying, oh, thank you so much. Bless you. That is a blessing. He said, Alicia, we just appreciate that so much. He said, the kids were telling Honey that she needed to get rid of that car. And I was like, who, Honey? He said, yeah, well, that's what my kids call, that's what the grandkids call my mother-in-law. Well, y'all, I'm going to be a Honey. When I have grandchildren, they're going to call me Honey. And the reason I came up with that was because he said, well, the kids always heard her husband saying, honey, honey. And they just started calling her Honey because her husband did it. I said, well, I haven't heard Honey in so long. I figured if I was ever going to hear it again, it had to be the grandkids. So it may as well be, they may as well go ahead and call me Honey so I can at least hear it on this side of glory before I pass, right? So it just worked. Like, that is crazy. Who would ever come up with that? I mean, it was, the Lord had his hand in it the whole time. He is just a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful person in himself. And I'm just so appreciative that my children have caught on to how budgeting works. Do they do it perfectly every time? Absolutely not. None of us do. But I'm telling you, when you stick to it and you do what you're supposed to do, thank you so much. I had to move. I have a vlog coming out and you'll see all the movement around, but I just needed to do something different because when I'm trying to do live videos, I'm usually in the other space and the kids have to be very quiet and my kitchen can't get clean and I can't live that best life. So anyway, but if you know parents who are having, single moms who just can't get it, single dads, doesn't have to be a mom, could be a dad, whatever. Hey, y'all, I love it too. Right, I can't wait. I mean, I can wait. I told Shamika don't even come up in here with no problems. Now,
well, I can't wait.
So it's going to be really great. But share our story, right? Because we've not arrived, but we have gotten to a different place than where we were before. right? We're still on the journey, but we're not at the starting point. We're somewhere along the journey. But anywho, because we were celebrating, I wanted to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to win another bag, right? So I went out and spent my own money. Got this from Walmart. I bought the last two. So we're giving away two more. Not today. I'm giving away one today, and then I'll find another time to give away another one. So after this video is done, after I wrap the video, I want you to go comment under the video, congratulations, Alana, enter me. And we'll do a drawing under this video, not in the live feed, because I can't grab the comments from there. It has to be the comment of the video. So congratulations, Alana, enter me, whatever you want to say, that would be good. So this is the same travel bag. It has all 10 pieces. It was still $12.50. This is the Femme Beauty bag. I know some of you said you can't find it. This is in the black and the rose gold. So I'm going to be giving this one away. And then my Crystal Johnson, I believe, was my winner. Crystal has not messaged me. So if y'all know Crystal, come on, girl, message. Alanah is her name. I will write it in here. Yeah, it's sister, or congratulations, sister, whichever one, that works out just as well. So we want to make sure that we give away that as well. I've had some little snags in the road, a few things that I cannot share because the Lord does not want me to do that. He said, Shakima, if anybody's getting any glory out of that story, it's going to be me. And so I'm going to just mind my business and not share it too soon. But if he lets me share it, this is something that happened to me personally, not to sister, but if he lets me share it, I will. We understand it's perfect. It's perfectly fine. You can just say congratulations, sister, since that's what y'all know her as well. But anywho, we just wanted to share that little bit of news because it is just such a blessing. The Lord really came through for Alana. I will post a picture of the twins in the community tab so that you all can see it. Please do remember to like this video, share it if you feel like it's worth sharing. Don't forget to comment below the video, not the live feed, but below the video, because that's the only way I can get your comment. We're going to leave this giveaway open for 7 days. It will close Monday next week. It's going to close on Monday next week. So 1 week it will stay open because we want to give people plenty of time to chime in. But we do love you guys. We thank you so much for stopping by and being a part of this journey. Just as much as I've raised these kids, most of y'all have been here to see it happen, and you've raised my kids with me as well. So thank you for being on this journey with sister, and we do appreciate everything. We'll see you guys next time. Bye now. Bye, y'all. Bye, everybody. Oh, that's awesome. I love that.